Hello everyone and welcome to Politics Today on Channels Television. Let's take a look at our focus on the program today. The Muhammadu Buhari government gets its first budget nod from the legislature. So what is next as Nigerians await speedy execution of the party's change agenda? And as the ruling APC leaders hold its second National Executive Council meeting since President Muhammadu Buhari came into office, several issues are thrown up. The party wants to restructure. But what is the way out for the party at this crucial time? That's the focus on the program. Many thanks for joining in, everyone. What a week it has been, and what a wait it has also been for the nation as we all waited breathlessly for the passage of the first budget of the Buhari administration. But folks, before we dig too deep into the matter, let's take you through the world of politics for the latest happenings. Here are your top political stories at this time.
Political roundup on Channels Television. Here are your top political stories this time.
More controversy continues to trail the arrest and eventual release of Honorable Akoni Afolabi, an Ekiti lawmaker, by the DSS. Colleagues of Honorable Afolabi are asking the DSS to provide explanations for the real reasons behind his arrest. The lawmaker was taken to hospital in Abuja for treatment after his release. He is said to have been kept in the DSS custody for 18 days before his eventual release.
We therefore demand an official explanation from the DSS as to why Honorable Akani was abducted and held incommunicado for 18 days.
The All Progressives Congress APC has held its National Executive Committee meeting at its headquarters in Abuja. It is the party's second NEC meeting since the Buhari administration came into power mid-last year. President Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, as well as some governors and party leaders were present at the meeting. In his opening remarks, President Buhari expressed disappointment at the violence that marred the Rivers State rerun elections, describing it as shameful. He said he would address the problem of election violence in the next polls. On the fight against corruption, President Buhari said efforts are being made to publish a list of funds recovered from corrupt politicians and public servants. And more updates on the Saturday, March the 19th, 2016 Rivers State rerun elections. The state governor, Mr. Nyesom Wike, says his government is working to forestall the sort of violence experienced in the Saturday elections. In a state broadcast, the governor said, in order to forestall a repeat of the needless violence and fatalities in future elections, he has established a judicial commission of inquiry to investigate the violence, killings and other related acts that occurred in parts of the state during the rerun elections and make appropriate recommendations to government for implementation. The governor named a 6-member judicial commission of inquiry. They are Honorable Justice Monima Winike Danagogo as chairman, Mrs. Uche Uriri will serve as secretary, while Venerable John Adubasim, Mrs. Doya Green, Mr. Joseph Zabi, and Mr. Luke Nwanodi are members. Governor Wike says the members of the commission will be sworn in at the Government House in Port Harcourt on Thursday, March the 24th by 10 a.m.
And you're up to date. Those are your top political stories you need to know.
Well, those are your top political stories, and let's get down to the matter, shall we? It now looks so much like the APC's vehicle is revving ready for takeoff now as the Buhari's administration's first budget gets the nod of the National Assembly. It is no doubt that the nation has been waiting to see the campaign promises of the APC come to fruition. It's almost a year since President Buhari took oath of office, but really, can one judge a government that has not had a full budget? Well, now that the budget is here, waiting for the assent of the president, what is next Tonight on the program, we take a look at the politics of the budget and, of course, the political economics side of things. Welcome on board, everyone. I'm Sheung Okinbaloe. Well, let's meet my guest now. In our Abuja studio is the minority leader of the House of Representatives, Honorable Leo Ogo. And here in our Lagos studio is Benga Onitila, associate commentator. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the program. Let me start with you, Benga.
Yeah.
It looks so much like the wait is almost over. We're waiting for the president ascent. Naturally, what should we be expecting between now and when the president assents the bill, the budget?
Okay. I would like to start with the major concern raised by Senate Chairman, Appropriation Committee, Danjuma Goje, and also the Deputy Senate President, Ike Kiriwandu. And the key concerns they raised were they received the budget that had several omissions. That was after this budget was passed by the National Assembly. They raised certain submissions to the Senate President that now that the Senate has been passed, hope there will not be issues coming up thereafter. Issues like there were several omissions within the budget. And they, because of the limitation of time, were not able to address most of the key concerns and omissions, which was a function of personnel costs in the core. And what that means on the long run is, the budget was pushed to us, but we never actually engaged the key stakeholders in the ministries, the agencies, on some of the items that has key omissions, which might have a lingering effect so as the budget is being implemented. So now they did their best, but limited time was available for them. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, we were able to have a budget that there was a reduction of about 17 billion out of the budget, but they alluded to the fact there was not enough time to do enough work in terms of reviewing some of the personnel costs, which was an issue of pardon that was initially raised with the National Assembly. So the issue now is, should the budget, should it have been passed by the National Assembly with some of the omissions which we believe were not really dealt with?
Benga, a lot of people would think that it was just some political gimmick and some politicking within the National Assembly, because if you look now at what we are seeing, there seems to be some no difference really in the figures that we are having. The oil benchmark hasn't changed.
Yeah.
The projection of oil hasn't changed. It's still put at 2.2 million naira. But at the end of the day, with all of these